Rue Morgue is out. Yeah, we look forward to this. Okay, now recently Rue Morgue has been making peace with Rue Morgue, right? Making peace with Rue Morgue. Well, that has changed now. Proudly Canadian. You're gonna see a lot of Canadian patriotism in this magazine. Okay, DFC Sons, you're cool, but like I said, we need to discuss what I like to call the Canadian question. Where the hell did this? Well, there's a country north of America. Where the hell did these people come from? When I was a kid, like I said, when Saturday Night Live was over in the early '80s, they used to. I would stay up, and at 1 o'clock, SCTV would come on, and that's when I realized Canada is not a state; it's a country. Unbelievable. Where did you know? And we'll go to Andrea's. It's kind of truncated but very feisty. Editorial, right? Remember when we thought the COVID lockdowns was the most severe years we've seen in our lifetimes? It feels quaint now to look back at. Yeah, okay. You guys, man, you took that hook, line, and sinker, and there's been no, yeah, you know what? Maybe we overreacted on their part. None of that. No introspection done on that. Doubling down, right? It's amazing. Of course, in terms of January 6th, then fuck, he did it. He came for Canada. Oh, Trump's coming for Canada. He goes, I thought tariff was a British term for toll fare, and I was quite happy to remain in ignorance. I'm not interested in taking YouTube Economics 101. As Trump has since backed off from much of the tariffs. What these people don't understand is that Trump is, like I had said in the video back, I think on the New Year's Eve of when the election was stolen, by the system that runs everything, and then it's still running despite Trump, the administration being in. Okay, in case you guys haven't noticed, I'll give you a tip on that. They still think that this dude is a lot of things he's not, just like his support. Also, in a different direction, he's a big mouth. He's not gonna do nothing. He says a lot of things. He doesn't do anything. Okay? He's not buying Canada. Trust. He's not buying Greenland. Oh god. But what? Oh, increasingly dystopian trajectory. Oh, now you guys think it's increasingly dystopian. You thought everything was great before, and that we were the ones being ridiculous with disinformation. Like this. It feels eerily appropriate as I endeavor to write this editorial without using the word fascist. Andrea, come on. As someone with Italian blood like myself, you stop insulting the great man, okay? By calling other people this. Stop insulting Mussolini. Okay, he was right about a lot of things you see playing out now, separate from all this. But anyway, America will one day be great again. No, it's not. No, it's not. So, unfortunately, neither is your place, your country. This might take a few years, exactly 4. So, oh yeah, it's just great people in the 4 years before that, but it doesn't matter. It's the same people. You get what I'm saying? Of course, you better say something nice because you're funded by Canada. Damn. Remember the Canadian in the 80s? Remember the Canadian come to Canada? What was the jingle? The world next door, something like that. It was like wow, it was kind of cool. Now, okay, an example here, okay, and I'm not harassing. I've crossed the name out. Don't even try it. But I agree. The magazine does a great job on diversity. Right? But I think an overlooked component is disability justice. Recognizing the ongoing COVID pandemic. Here we go again with this. Okay? It's all tied in together. Man. It's tough to see that left out. Okay? It would be great to see it acknowledged more in associated events, such as virtual operations where possible, and encouraging modeling masking in public indoor spaces. Horror fans are well positioned to resist the obey, consume, forced return to normal. What? You see what I'm saying? In terms of the gymnastics, okay? Everyone's picked their side. the mental gymnastics required to somehow say that those of us who resisted and were against that stuff, we're the ones obeying and consuming. It's entertaining. It's hilarious. Right? Take the Lafon pill. So, go through here the tchotchkes. I always mention the tchotchkes. It's very feminine. Like horror is be very feminine. Right? That's one of the themes of my channel. There's a new Final Destination film. I remember. I think I liked 2 and 3 a lot. I remember, and they had some of the best. This one I haven't seen. A whole drain butt plug. No, thank you. But this one here, man. Remember part 3? Really, the 2 blonde bimbo girls. They go into tanning beds. This was really horrible, man. This disturbed the hell out of me. This scene right here, where they're trapped in the tanning beds, and they're roasted, and it doesn't happen quick either. They're roasted alive as they're trapped in like these coffin like tanning beds. And like I said, as annoying as they are, it was really horrific. I really getting like a chill up my spine. But it just a personal anecdote. So there's a new one out. So yeah, Final Destination's fun. It's like Saw. It's like, it's all about the kills. Right? It's all like Saw is all about what crazy device and twist is gonna happen. So, all right, I'm not really gonna be able to say much about this, right? Because I don't have, in the last decade, I don't have cable. I don't have streaming. I don't have anything. I watch whatever is on a computer, whatever should be on there. I mean, I have my hookups, right? I mean, we all have our hookups, don't we? So, where I can see certain movies that I shouldn't be allowed to see. But there's no streaming, none of it. If I go to somebody's house sometimes, I'll go on there. But I don't really see Shudder. I don't really know. So there's not much I can really say. I remember the Horror Channel. They were trying to make the Horror Channel for years. Never happened. They had Monster TV, which was great. Actually, really great back in like 2008. They got rid of that. But Joe Bob, man, I like that. If there would be one reason to watch it, it would be to see the great Joe Bob Briggs, the horror host, the best guy they ever had or not. So, yeah, like I said, I don't have it, so that's it. The hell, Dragula, they still got these things. Jeez, pretty. I would say pretty disgusting, pretty degenerate. So, and I don't mind a little camp either. And it's like whatever. What is this? The scariest movie ever made, really? And then you look and you go, oh, of course they say that. They're advertising it. So, anyway, this guy, I always like his name, Vendig. He's like Wendigo. You remember this dude? Comics people remember this dude. Your boy Zach, when he was sane, was ripping on this dude, and this guy was funny. He does memes with his face. Remember, he makes that face with the with his mouth open. Anyway, I remember when this film came out. I was like, you know what? I'm not interested in this. And now this is before the term now body horror. It is fashionable nowadays to associate women with body horror. Like I said, body horror to me is a made up term, like folk horror. Okay, proper horror show. I'm talking to you. Okay? These are made up genres, made up terms by ideological people that don't care for. So, anyway, what is this? Oh boy! All right, say nothing. And like I said, I keep saying, when you look at the horror films and review, it's women. It's very feminine. Oh, you don't like women? It's like, of course I do, but it's well, it's like anything. Horror is like anything else. It's being feminized. Okay, right. It's the whole thing is being feminized. Okay, America is not back. Okay, we gotta stop. Boomer ain't gonna save you, bro. As an example, of course, the YouTube horror shorts. and everyone here is evil man, bad man, woman getting revenge or doing something to him, and it's okay. So whatever, it's fine. So it is entertaining to see, right? It's always entertaining to see the reality of who is doing things to women in the world, okay, but who on screen is doing things, and getting revenge. When in the real world, there's no revenge, is there? No woman is getting revenge. No decent woman who's victimized is getting revenge anyway. You might be getting revenge on some dude by destroying his car because he didn't decide to leave it at that. Oh, this one, the last shark. This was right. This was one of the Jaws rip-offs from Italy that was banned in America. And I remember this one because I keep mentioning the bootleg scene in the 90s and the early 2000s, Midnight Video, the great Midnight Video. They were the best of those groups. Near the end of their run, to compete with DVD, they started making like DVD Rs of like the uncut films. And this is one of the ones I had got from them, right? The Last Shark. So very funny, very cheesy. And I will say, like the scene with the guy when he's hanging from the helicopter and the shark bites his legs off. And then the helicopter is essentially a toy helicopter that gets thrown into the bathtub and then exploded with a firecracker. Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. The horror comics. I will say some of this comics. There's a company called Distillery. It's not spelled that way exactly, but it sort of spells out Distillery. These large comics, they tend to be more of the dark horror sci-fi edge, and some of them are actually, I'm not gonna lie, they're pretty decent. I might do something on them at some point. I think they were featured here, but at least they're trying to do something different. But like I said, most of the horror comics are just like I said, two genres that are in trouble. that get even worse. The trouble increases exponentially when you put them together. So what is this Gothic metis? I read this review. I have no idea what this refers to. The concept of metis, an obscure ancient cunning of the term. Interesting. I mean, it seems like a fascinating thing, almost like in the Legati realm, perhaps. But like I said, I might get around to it. I might look this up on the internet. Yeah, nothing really. Oh, here we go. Okay, all right, I'm not harassing her or any her family or nothing. Okay, please. Okay, late last year, shortly before the U.S. election, right, my 10-year-old daughter came home and with a question she heard on the playground. Someone said that if Donald Trump wins the election, America is going to invade us. Oh God, can you imagine? Oh please. I reassure our countries were good friends. Oh really? Had been for decades. I just listen. I mean, DFC Sons, you're cool, man. I just remember back in '94 on the way to Toronto, getting stopped at the border, being kept for 4 hours as my car was taken apart, looked for drugs, then told to get the hell going and to shut the fuck up when I asked them why they did that. And then everyone and being treated pretty rudely in Toronto by people because they could hear my accent, knew I was from down south, in terms of down south New York State. But I did have my first legal beer there, a Labatt's Blue, and it tasted wonderful. So, but yeah, it's just it's like don't worry, the Trump's not doing nothing. You gotta stop already, please. You gotta stop. So I remember I am fought back in the French and Indian War, right? When the Americans tried to take Canada, and the Canadians repulsed them, I supported that. So just remember, you know, just remember whose side am I? I'm on my side. So when I see horror culture, I look for my revolver. Oh, I'm just kidding. And also, I like to see, wow, so they put this out on Waxwork Records. Remember, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the soundtrack was done by Toby Hooper and this guy here. DIY freeform fashion, necessity is the mother of invention, right? These guys are not trained musicians, so They made sounds and music with random instruments, toys, animal calls, kitchen implements. Effective and unsettling, right? Remember that? What was that? Oh God, my voice. Little allergies. Oh God, no. I better sing better than that on my records. Okay? Incredibly modern, right? It was an unwitting prototype, right, for like ambient sampled music. These guys like literally just did it with like these objects. They didn't sample or anything because you didn't have that back then. So fascinating. And rounding it out, oh, Arthur Brown, remember, I am the god of hellfire, and I bring you. And it sounds like it's gonna be a really heavy song, and it's just like a groovy little kind of song, right? Which a cool song. This guy is one of the first, like obviously very theatrical in a dark way. You know, acts the crazy world of Arthur Brown. Guy's still kicking at 84. Yeah, amazing. Still touring. Good for him, man. Right, Alice Cooper, King Diamond, Kiss Right, everything. You know, you could argue that this is the first corpse paint in rock and music. So, but of course, the thing that I find interesting here is we always get little hints of things that I always get at. Like I always say, always the war, right? Like this, my very young years here, when the Second World War is ending. So you met a lot of the psychological conditions in people who had come back from bombing people. Okay. Interesting. Little insight there. I was originally playing to the world that came out of that, but now people are just afraid. And how I've dealt with it throughout my life is that I remain creative. And of course, in the creative, you have to find both the shadows and the light. Amen. Amen. Very cool. Very cool. All right. And we'll wrap it up with Canadian films. Okay. My Bloody Valentine or Rock and Roll Nightmare. Or My Bloody Valentine might be my favorite slash film. Quite atmospheric as hell, very Canadian, but like in the hinterland parts of Canada. Very cool film. Of course, this guy, he's like that. We Duncan, not Timmy's. Well, we guess what? In America, you have Tim Hortons. There's one on Highland Boulevard in Staten Island. So, and I like it better than Dunkin' Donuts. But the FC Sons, he likes Dunkin's better. Amazing. The grass is always greener, isn't it? So yeah, remember Hollis, the cool dude, like the fat dude who's actually like a cool character. So it was contrasted against the absolutely crazy, insane rock and roll nightmare, bro. This film, and of course, John Mickle. Now, right off the bat, if you're an 80s metal dude, if you like metal, yo, Thor is actually really good. This guy was really talented. Like, the music is actually really good if you listen to Thor. But the films, of course, Rock and Roll, what was it? Zombie Nightmare, Rock and Roll Nightmare. Of course, this is a crazy ass epic film. As much as you can have an epic film in a house in rural Canada. Right in the beginning, right, the creature's like a puppet coming out of the oven, and yeah, this is DFC songs real quick. Americans might not clock it, but it's a well-known Canadian idiom that moving to Toronto, pronounced Toronto. Like, yeah, that makes sense. Fixes all your problems, and I'm sure. So, do they still say that? Do you say that? Now, of course, the craziness of this whole film is then the finale is absolutely insane. The twist in the end where he's actually an angel tricking the demon into killing these people, but then it never happened. I don't know. This is insane. So, which is the most Canadian horror film ever? You know what? I will say this is a draw. There's a draw between My Bloody Valentine and Rock and Roll Nightmare. Bro, this movie is crazy. If you haven't seen this movie, man, you guys see this movie. So, and that's it. Oh, yeah, Canada. Looks like we're going to war.